there's an alleged $3 million settlement about Vince like having an affair with some lady.
Yeah,
That's just breaking.
yeah,
So I'm trying to
yeah.
look for more
So that
information
came
about
that
that.
came out. I saw that like earlier on like literally just before we went, and I was like, "What is this?" Because it was trending. But I didn't
Okay.
see an actual news article. It was just people talking about it. I didn't see a news article about it, so I have no freaking idea.
It looks like it's
Uh,
a secret $3 million settlement that longtime chief executive Vince McMahon agreed to pay a departing employee with whom he allegedly had an affair, according to documents and people familiar with the board inquiry. This article is quite long. I'm not going to read the whole thing. But it was a January 22 separation agreement, which bars the now former employee who was hired as a paralegal in 2019. This is giving me Dawn Marie vibes. From discussing her relationship with Mr. McMahon or
it's
disparaging
giving
him, the
me
people
bloody
said.
Monica Lewinsky vibes, man.
Also
Like,
that,
no,
also
no.
that. So I guess they began an investigation in April. There were non-disclosure agreements involving claims by former female WWE employees of misconduct by Mr. McMahon and one of his top executives, John Laurinaitis, the head of talent relations at WWE. This is all from Wall Street Journal, by the way. Let's see, the board's outside counsel was still collecting information about the other NDAs. So, yeah, it looks like this could be
Legit.
quite a scandal. I mean, Vince McMahon has had scandals before. It would not be the first time.
Not properly like this though.
Are they
Like I
saying that
think
he was using
obviously
$3 million of company money, like as hush money?
right. Well, no, because I feel as if like the majority of Vince scandals have been around like the kind of like drugs, like the
Like
what do you call it? Like
steroids
yeah,
and
steroid
well, and
use and
he's
stuff
been
like
sued
that.
for sexual harassment before.
He's been sued, yeah, but it's never been publicized. See,
Mm-hmm.
now in this day and age, if there's something like that coming up, it just makes me like Linda more because I'm just like, you're an angel and you don't deserve this.
It's like the law firm is also assessing WWE's compliance and human resources programs and company culture.
Oh.
Let's
Which actually could like see if like there's going to be an outside investigation into this, like in terms of like the releases, especially when WWE made the biggest profits in 2020, and that's when
mm-hmm.
they released the majority of people for the reasons of like, oh, we don't like,
Of
we
boosting
can't
profits
afford
for
to keep you.
shareholders.
Yeah. So, this can actually could be quite that like it's scandalous as it is, but it could be actually genuinely like bad. Bad,
Yeah,
bad,
well,
bad.
not William Davis pointed out in the chat, first scandal in the PG post speaking out era. It does look like a WWE spokesman said the company is cooperating fully with the board inquiry. Of course, the spokesman's going to say that, and I'm sure that they are cooperating to an extent. Uh, let's see, and that the relationship with the ex paralegal was consensual. He added that the company takes allegations seriously and is dealing with them appropriately. So it doesn't seem like I don't know if she's alleging that the relationship wasn't consensual or if it's just like she's
I
been paid
think
hush
probably
money
she's
to
been
not talk
saying
about it.
from what it sounds like, from what I saw like on Twitter when it was just like, because like I said, I never saw any news articles. It was just people talking about it. From what it sounds like is like it was an affair that did happen, which is why I'm kind of saying it's like a Monica Lewinsky,
Uh huh.
where it's like it did happen, but technically she was taken advantage of, and actually she's like, or somebody's come to the realization that this was,
Like
like
inappropriate.
grooming. It was grooming, and it
Yeah.
was like it came
Like
down
someone
to
in a
this.
position of power
Yeah,
abusing his position of
exactly.
power.
Which is like terrifying how often that happens. But yeah, I think that's kind of how it sounded like at the time. It was kind of like, and I think a lot of like the kind of Harvey Weinstein like kind of like things where people thought at the time they were like felt forced into it because they had the idea that if they didn't, then it wouldn't, they would be lost. So at the time, it's almost consensual, but it's not because you're actually being forced into thinking it's consensual.
Oh,
That's
it
what it
gets,
is.
yeah. And then there's some of it too. The first email, sorry, this is like obviously a really long thing, so I'm kind of trying to catch up. The first email sent to board members on March 30 alleged that Mr. McMahon, 76 years old, initially hired the woman at a salary of $100,000, but increased it to $200,000 after beginning a sexual relationship with her. The email to the board also alleged that Mr. McMahon gave her like a toy to Mr. Laurinaitis. The board is investigating the allegations in the email, the people familiar with the inquiry said. So if he's like adjusting her salary because he's in a relationship with her, then that
you're just like sparking so many like wrong things there.
Yeah.
Like, and this is the thing, like, it's, see, if you're a vulnerable person, and I know there's obviously going to be a lot of backlash from this because people will be like, oh, this person was benefiting from this person was doing that, but it's not about that. It's about the fact that you feel you need to do your job to succeed. Like, this is a vulnerable person and somebody who's being taken advantage of. It's not okay.
Yeah, the email apparently that was sent, let's see. The email that was sent said, my friend was so scared, so she quit after Vince McMahon and lawyer Jerry paid her millions of dollars to shut up, basically. And it sounds like she had fallen on hard times before working for the company, needed the money. It doesn't sound good.
Oh my God, right, okay, I'm going to look into it, and this is not what I want to... I would just also like to take this moment to separate the fact that I love the McMahons as characters on TV. I do not love the McMahons as people, right? And this is the thing that I think a lot of people get me confused about, like, especially with Linda, because I absolutely hate her political views. I hate them. I've actually had to unfollow her, like, and mute her on Twitter because I can't. But the thing is, on TV, I love Linda McMahon as a character.
Right.
Like, and this is the thing is this is where the lines get blurred with like kayfabe and the real life and like who they are. Like, this is why I love the McMahons. On TV, they are freaking awesome. As people, would I necessarily
want to be friends with them?
Be friends with them? Maybe not. No, maybe with Stephanie and Triple H, because I love Triple H and I think he's actually got the right idea and stuff like that. And I think Stephanie genuinely does have the right idea about stuff. On TV, I feel as if like that was maybe mixed up when she created women's wrestling and whatever. But I genuinely think they seem like good people, and I seem like Shane seems like a great guy. Like the McMahon, like the TV McMahons and them as people in real life is different. It's the same as everyone. It's very different.
It's very different. I mean, the whole thing is, does this news surprise me a whole bunch? No, not necessarily.
I think it does to me, actually, a bit.
Really? It does? Because I mean, like, he's admitted
because of his age.
True.
I feel as if like
I don't know
that
when
kind
they're
of
saying
thing
it
would have been behind it. But I feel if they're saying that this is somebody that like, you know, brought it up like a couple of years ago and was hushed.
Okay, it was 2019. It still doesn't really surprise me.
But that to me surprises me because he's in his 70s. It just kind of feels as if like after past things that would have happened, then, you know, you would have kind of learned a lesson or gone down different roads almost. Like, I know this sounds terrible, but if you're gonna freaking cheat and you've been kind of like called out on this kind of thing, this bullshit before, don't employ somebody. Don't fucking do it that way. Don't do it through the employment
Well, I think this isn't even about the fact that he, you know, cheated on his wife or whatever. They might have an arrangement. Who knows? Like, I don't know their lives.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if they did. It wouldn't surprise me if they didn't. But I think the issue is more hiring somebody, beginning a relationship with them, and then kind of like holding the relationship. Like, it's mixing like, you work for me and also your money that you make for me is contingent on you sleeping with me.
Absolutely. But this is the thing, if you don't, I would have thought somebody in that position of power that he is in would have learned a lesson to be like, you do not shit where you eat. Right?
I don't know if he has. Like,
I learned that like years ago. Like when I went out with like a guy when I worked in the barber shop, I went out with one of the barbers, and it was the worst thing I could ever have done, like ever, because he cheated on me constantly. Like with people that were coming into the shop, obviously, like I worked in a barber's, but it was the hairdressers as well. Cheated on me constantly, like all this kind of stuff. But the thing is, then other people in the salon were like, oh no, he's such a great guy. Like, you know, he was so charming. He was like a complete megalomaniac. Like, and managed to like get people inside and stuff like that. And I'm just like, nah, you do not shit where you like if you're gonna do bad things, do it
But if you
out
have all the
with
money in the world to make a situation, bye, love you. Sorry, Carlos is leaving. But like,
Yes.
if you have all the money in the world to make these situations go away, right? Like,
No, but
I
not
think your ego.
even.
Oh no, but I'm just saying that
Not
like Vince
even.
McMahon's ego, I could definitely see him like thinking, oh well, I'm gonna be fine because I have my lawyer, I have John Laurinaitis like on my
Well,
side, and I
do you
do
want
want
to
to
know
say thank
some?
you, Andy, for cheering 300 bits and saying you guys are so level-headed and balanced in discussing a breaking delicate subject. Love you guys. It is a delicate subject, and I mean we don't have
Well,
all the information. Obviously,
no,
we're
we
just
don't.
kind of catching up
Well, we
on it.
don't exactly, and we're just saying it from like a side point of view. But
Mm-hmm.
however, what I do like
Because I
want to
agree with
see.
you that like you shouldn't, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. You know what
Oh
I
no,
mean?
of course, exactly, and like it will happen in like
The
life,
Grey's
like just
Anatomy fan that I am knows that it happens far too often.
totally.
That's like the whole
I
premise
don't
of that
know.
show.
I just feel as if like you would be more aware of this kind of thing and
You'd
like
hope
more
so.
kind of like I don't know, you would just kind of like this is the thing. Why am I even trying to play out the abuser here and be like, oh, what would you do? Like that's not okay. But then again, that is my own issues. Like, that's trying to work out. But hey ho. I just think that there's a lot of there's a lot of shit like that about, and
I'm
I
just
I
curious.
struggle to understand how somebody in that position would fuck it up so royally.